So here's one of the big talking points of the last 24 hours. Yesterday, the former president, Jacob Zuma, tweeted an apology to ANC veteran Derek Hanekom. This follows the Constitutional Court ruling that he defamed the former tourism minister. Last year, Zuma took to Twitter to say Hanekom was a known enemy agent. Was Zuma's apology sincere or just what the court ordered? Joining me now via Skype is Wentzel partner Pooja, DelaCron, who represented Derek Hanekom in that particular issue. Thank you so much for joining us, Pooja, and good afternoon to you. So the apology came yesterday. I saw that it was accepted by Mr. Hanekom. Is it because it was sincere and heartfelt, or it merely satisfied what he was looking for in this particular case?
Yes, thank you for having me. It was certainly an interesting take on an apology. You see, the courts can't order a person to take the high road, and they can't order a person to be sincere. But the reason why Mr. Hanekom can safely and comfortably accept the apology is not because of the form in which the former president has opted to frame the apology. Rather, it is the fact that the highest courts in this country, including the Constitutional Court, have said to the former president that what you have said is false and defamatory, what you have done is unlawful, and your conduct falls foul of the constitutional standards. So it is on that basis that Mr. Hanekom has accepted the apology.
And you say it was an interesting take on an apology. Some have been debating whether it's an apology or merely a report that reports back to, his Twitter followers that this is what the court ordered. And I'm quoting the words that Mr. Hanekom wrote and asked the court to endorse.
Yes, I think the statement is clear in its terms that it is simply referring to the court-ordered apology. So I don't think there's any controversy there. But as I say, the vindication of the right doesn't come from the words on the paper. It comes from the fact that the courts have said to the former president that the conduct is unlawful and the words are false and defamatory. And
Sure.
That is the vindication of the right.
And without trying to incite you into anything, let me ask you, Pooja, that in the way that this apology has been phrased, vis-a-vis the quest for remedy for that defamation, is the remedy achieved? Is it fully remedied in the way that, the apology has been phrased, in the way that, the reputation of Mr. Hanekom has been damaged by the earlier statement that has now been sufficiently remedied? I don't know if you get my question.
I do understand. And the question of remedy is a very important one. As we stand today, there is a partial remedy that has been ordered in the sense that the court has ordered the former president to retract the statement, to apologize. And we mustn't forget the interdict. The former president is interdicted from making any statement which suggests that Mr. Hanekom is a known enemy agent or an apartheid spy. One mustn't forget that this matter is far from over. There's the entire leg which is still to come in terms of the quantum of damages. And that is the final piece of the puzzle in terms of the remedy for the defamation as a whole. So that is yet to come.
Yeah, and take me into that then. How much are you able to say by way of what you'll be seeking in terms of the quantum of the damages? Because I guess, it's hard to quantify what in monetary terms is the damage that has been caused to his reputation. But at the same time, the gravity of that statement has been tested in as far as the courts are concerned, describing him as a, quote, known enemy agent in the context of our history was quite damaging. Will you be seeking to be punitive in the way that you'll be asking for the damages to be awarded? And is there a point to doing that within our context of, the laws around defamation?
Yes, I think the question of damages is not an exact science, and our courts have said that very clearly. But what has to be assessed, and there are factors that have to be taken into account, for instance, the severity and the harm that was caused by the statement. And like you correctly point out, calling someone an apartheid spy or implying that he is an apartheid spy is incredibly defamatory of somebody with the struggle history that Mr. Hanekom has. Other factors that are considered are the reach of the statement and the fact that there are hundreds of thousands of people, I think 500,000 people, that had immediate access to this tweet. So the reach of the statement is vitally important. The question of damages is never to be punitive, but all of these factors together have to be considered in what the appropriate amount is, which will be awarded. And we've been quite clear in our founding papers, even on the merits, that the quantum that we will seek is 500,000 rand.
All right, Pooja, thank you so much for your insights there. Pooja DelaCron from Wentzel. She's a senior partner there. She's a partner there and was representing Mr. Derek Hanekom in that particular matter involving former President Jacob Zuma and the apology that has got people talking on Twitter. That matter, as she says, is far from over. They will now be moving to the issue of damages to be awarded to Mr. Hanekom.